Magical Mystery School, Astrology Lesson 7. And I got to thinking after the last class where I kind of talked about the mechanics of how the rising sign works, I thought of a couple of other things that I better just mention so you don't trip over them as on your quest to getting your own chart and such. So, you probably remember back at the kind of the beginning, one of the first lessons, I said, go ahead and start looking for a way to get your own chart. And you can go, there's a ton of different sites, websites, you can get free charts you can download quickly off of the internet. But I just went to Cafe Astrology, and here were the prompts I got, and you're welcome to take a screenshot of that if you want to help you out. And just to use another, I'm going to use this chart because I have my own software, so I have this chart that I printed off, and it's a little bit bolder, so I think it's a little bit easier to look at. And the thing I wanted to say, point out to you for looking at your astrology chart is that when we talk about this, we're going to talk about, remember that rising sign was right here? So, so like the rising sign for this person is Sagittarius. So the sun comes up midheaven and goes back down. Well, so you're looking at, well, that's the east is over on the left-hand side of the chart. That seems weird because when you look at any map of the United States or any map anywhere, you're going to see, you know, the east coast is on the right side and the west coast is on the left side. North is up, south is down. So how come, Auntie, why are these opposite? I can't make any sense of that. I know it can be confusing. So I just want to explain. So this map, just imagine that this map is literally like we peeled off this two-dimensional map of the United States off of the globe. All right. So this is a two-dimensional thing. Now your horoscope, your astrology chart here is actually, it's a two-dimensional thing, but it's actually representing something that's three-dimensional. So think of yourself as sitting right here like on a ball called the earth, right? You're sitting in the center here. And think of yourself, whenever you look at your chart, that your back is to the north and the front of you into the chart is to the south. So if you're doing that, your left-hand side is going to be where the sun comes up, goes over at noon times, and sets in the evening, right? And then here it is in the middle of the night. So, so if you can just keep that in mind, that when you're looking at a chart, even if it's on the tabletop here, just imagine you're always sitting with your back to the north, your front to the south, and that will make the east on the left make sense, and the west, the setting sun on the right makes sense. Okay, so I wanted to explain that. And another thing, when you order your charts, a lot of times they're going to ask you what house system do you want to use. So there's a ton of house systems out there. And pretty much what I have found is people use the house system they learned from. Like, for example, myself, do you see where it says Koch, K-O-C-H right here? Well, the reason I use Koch is because the gal that was my teacher for years and years and my mentor, she used Koch. So I use Koch, you know, and K-O-C-H, Koch. Not any other kinds of Coke. But anyway, so that's the kind of chart I use. Now, since we're just skimming the surface of astrology here, you might want to just use what's called equal house. That's really a real simple house structure where every house is given 30 degrees. So that's a way you can go. It's either called equal house or whole house, either one. The other house system that's super popular is called Placidus, and that's spelled, let me make sure I get it spelled right, Placidus. And I should have looked up who Placidus was, but I'm sure he's some old Latin guy that came up with these Roman guy that came up with these house systems. And you'll see, it's kind of obvious in this chart, because this person was born up in upstate Washington state, almost up there, like up by the Canadian border. You'll see that some of the houses are bigger and some of the houses are smaller. And that's because this house system takes into account how far you are up towards the North Pole or down towards the equator. So if you were born on the equator, you would have equal houses. So anyway, that's pretty technical stuff, but I just wanted to let you know so that when you run across it, and like I said, when you put your data in for this chart that you get on the internet, it's going to ask you what house system do you want to use. And you're welcome to try several and see which one looks the best to you. The rising signs are always going to be the same. Everybody's rising sign, no matter what, is always going to be the same. And on most of these house systems, the midheaven is going to be the same. Not always, but mostly. But the rising sign, everybody's rising sign is always the same. It doesn't matter. So I hope that made sense. And we're doing pretty good with time. So I just wanted to show this to you because I thought this was so cute. I was going through a calendar. The other day I was changing some calendars up. And I noticed, oh my God, that is Pisces. I mean, yeah, Pisces is the symbol of the two fish swimming in two different directions. And sure enough, Pisces, when does the sun goes into Pisces? The end of February into March. And when I saw this, I just couldn't help but like go, oh my God, that is so weird. And just remember, so start thinking about these icons, these symbols. You'll be surprised where you start seeing symbols of our astrology signs all around you and popping up at places where they should be, where, I don't know, maybe somebody was an astrologer that put this calendar together. Doubt it, but you never know. So anyway, next class I will continue with rising signs and just go into some more detail about the meaning of those rising signs, and then we'll get more into interpretation and stuff. So anyway, thank you so much, and remember to like and subscribe and comments and all that good stuff. And just remember, from there to here, from here to there, funny things are everywhere. Bye. Thank you.